What's up, everybody? We are here this week. Raw versus SmackDown. We got to figure out who had the better show as we're on the road to WrestleMania. Only a couple more episodes left, to be honest, and then we gear up for WrestleMania season. But of course, we about to tune in here in the den. That is right. The Salt Shakers are in the building. Nikki Bougie, Dreon Santana. The Shakkas Den is open on this good Monday. And I'm excited because we may not have one, but we definitely had a lot of women, and we trying to get to that home stretch a little bit. Cynthia, how you feel about your show?
Well, I feel like my show definitely added a lot more with the match card for WrestleMania.
Hmm.
Definitely got a lot of matches announced. Definitely starting to get the ball rolling with a lot of feuds and stuff like that. So, and even what's to come for this week as well. So, I mean, I don't know, but it's 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 getting down to the wire where
Yeah,
we're about to see if this whole Roman Rock thing is truly going to be lasting by the end of whichever night they wrestle for the match or whatever.
that's true. I myself I'm a little under the weather, but we're gonna make it through. Oh Lord. We're gonna start off first with, of course, Monday Night Raw, and then move on to SmackDown. First and foremost, we kick off with Seth and Drew. It's becoming a little repetitive. Every week the same thing. We know Seth and Drew are going to be opponents at WrestleMania. Not sure if anyone's added. Doesn't look like it. But I mean, not really interested in this feud as much. I'm more interested in what's going on with LA Knight and AJ Styles, if I'm being honest. Um, but then we get to our first match of the night. Becky taking on Liv Morgan. Kind of, Liv, I'm going to be honest, babe. You got to give it up. You got to give it up, Delicious. I don't know what you're going to be doing at WrestleMania, but it ain't in that title picture. Um, Go win Money in the Bank. Um, I do not want to try AI. But more importantly, after that win, she is greeted by the champion. And it seems as if this is what Rhea and Becky want. I'm hoping for a main event, but I'm not gonna press my luck on it. Um, but I don't know. I think that smile on Rhea's face, she got something brewing. Maybe some help, maybe a Cora Jade or Roxanne Perez, who knows. There was also a tag team match that was pretty controversial
Hmm.
between Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, Maxine Dupree, and Ivy Nile, where Ivy Nile and, of course, Maxine taking the loss. But it's caused a lot of stir on the internet, and it's caused a lot of people to feel bad for Maxine. Um, but that's the public eye. Um, it is what it is. But we also hear from Cody. Michael Cole sits down with him ahead of his match, and he gets really emotional about his dad. He talks about his brothers and his sister and the importance of this championship. But he also, before he leaves, does the infamous point. Now, I'm very curious. Was it Undertaker who did it first?
I believe so. Um, but I would like for Cody to understand that he was in this same sit down with Michael Cole last year, and he
Right,
did the exact same thing.
right.
So I don't know if he's putting on a show right now just so people can think that, oh, this is gonna be the same outcome. He's crying because he wants to do it for his father, his family, blah blah, all this and that. And then now Michael Cole was stirring the pot. I'm not gonna lie. He
Yeah.
really was stirring the pot with Cody, but I mean he's asking what a lot of people want to know. Like, you're back in this position again. Are you sure that this is the year that you can beat Roman Reigns? Now
Yeah,
that you got even more odds up against you.
I don't know. I really truly don't know. We also hear from the Kabuki Warriors because they have a tag team match, a title tag team match at that, with Shayna Baszler and Zoe. Now, it may not have looked up for Shayna Baszler or Zoe, but however, come Thursday, April the 4th, it was announced this week, Shayna Baszler is going to be making her way to Game Changer Wrestling. Changing, I don't know, GCW. Okay. This is this is big. And I did not even think this was real, to be honest. What were your thoughts when you first saw this?
Well, what's crazy is that I was on social media when I saw Josh Bennett talking about it on social media wise, and then there was like a couple of people kind of already kind of making a hint that WWE and Bloodsport would actually be doing something together wise. So to find out that Shayna Baszler is the first person to come to mind for this and her being the first one announced, I thought that it was absolutely amazing because I feel like to me, this feels like Shayna Baszler being in GCW, being on the indies like she where she came from outside of MMA or whatever. This here is just it was meant for her. Now I would like to see, or I would like for them to continue on to bring in other superstars from WWE that have been on the indies like Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, Austin Theory I think would be great too. Candice LeRae, for God's sake, would definitely would love to see her back in there. Cedric Alexander. There's so many that came from the indies that Shotzi that have been in this type of field before, way before I even knew what GCW was, but also just being that type of field. So Shayna, I know she's talking about wanting to have that match with Minoru Suzuki, so that's her idol. So I'm hoping that if they want to go that route, then do that. I know they're saying like, "Oh, Masha." I said Masha too, but like, nah, let her do Minoru Suzuki. Masha got other things to worry about.
Girl.
Unless you're gonna let her face Masha and take that title. That's all I
Girl.
got.
Anyway. Um uh, Timothy Thatcher would be a good opponent for her.
Yeah.
Matt Riddle. It would be nice to see a crossover with Deanna Perrazzo,
Hmm.
but it just is what it is. I thought this was a great announcement and really
Absolutely.
changes the landscape of
I
wrestling.
want them to do more though. To be honest.
Yeah. We also had a match between our Truth and um Damian Priest. And to be honest, I'm forgetting that Damian Priest even has the briefcase. I'm gonna need him to cash the fuck in. Um, but our Truth
WrestleMania.
was standing. Like our Truth is a legend within his own right. Um, and I thought our Truth could have get this one, but a clothesline. Thought I edited it. Clothesline and Damien gets the victory. We also hear from Jay Uso pertaining to his match at WrestleMania with his brother. And then we also get to our main event match, the gauntlet match. The winner faces Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. And I wanted to see Chad Gable win, but I think Sammy deserves it. He's been out the loop for a while. Last year he was tag team battling out with Kevin, so you know, it is what it is. I thought they were gonna give it to Shinsuke, to be honest. Tonight, probably in our main event, Becky Lynch will take on Nia Jax in a last woman standing match. We haven't had many of these very iconic matches for the women, especially on a Monday Night Raw. We
Hmm.
also have the tag team tournaments between our Truth, Miz, and these people. And then we also have Tommaso Ciampa and um,
Johnny
Johnny
Gargano.
Gargano taking on Creed Brothers. And then we also have a tag team match with Chad and Maxine watching, taking on Akira Tozawa in the same tournament with Otis versus the New Day. And that was your Raw in 10 minutes. Pause.
That is interesting. Well, let's go ahead and move on over to SmackDown. I know Sammy is probably looking forward, but it's so interesting to see him and Kevin go after the same mid card titles for WrestleMania 2. But let's go ahead and get into Friday night SmackDown. We started off, of course, with The Rock. Giving us a little bit of Hollywood Rock. He's been talking a lot of trash on social media about Cody Rhodes, talking about he's going to whoop in front of his mom and beat him in front of his dog, or shit like that, all kinds of stuff. And so he just he cracked jokes on himself. He cracked jokes on the guy who cried for Cody Rhodes. He cracked jokes on everybody that he could, just to send a message to Cody Rhodes. And I mean, like I said, Cody has a I think, like I said, all this is a setup. I really do. I feel like I'm still going back to when The Rock first came and him and Cody, he whispered something into Cody's ear. I feel like all of this is just a scam, and this is just to get everybody all worked up so that boom, Roman does lose this title at WrestleMania 40, and then him and Rock will go off to WrestleMania 41 and do whatever the hell they're gonna do. Maybe they'll have it in Minnesota by the end. Who knows? But that's the game plan, maybe. And then we move on to our bracket one for the SmackDown teams. We had Legado de Fantasma versus LWO. Really, really great match. I wish they didn't put these two teams against each other, but sometimes they act as if like they don't have that many tag teams and they only continue to utilize people who are in feuds and everything, which I feel like it would have been greater to see it more on the big stage with like this group here continue on their feud and whatnot. Thought maybe LWO would have gotten it, but it went to Legado de Fantasma, and so they continue on. You gotta have this team who you're putting back together with new pairing, have some type of dominance. LWO has been here for a minute, saying maybe I don't know, maybe they'll do a last chance or something. I don't know. Then we move on to Randy Orton versus Grayson Waller. Of course, Grayson Waller was talking trash about how Logan Paul, which look you can see Logan Paul was out there, about how Logan Paul used the brass knuckles to basically cost him his opportunity to win the Elimination Chamber. And so after Randy did get the victory here, there was a lot of back and forth with them trying to jump Randy Orton, Paul. Um, Grayson and Austin Theory were about to lay out Randy Orton once again until Kevin Owens came out there. And once again, Austin Theory is at fault of taking a super duper stunner and bouncing like Tigger in the air, to catch that RKO from Randy Orton. And Nick Aldis did go ahead and make the match, which I said was probably going to be a triple threat match because Randy and Kevin are being utilized a little too much together with Logan Paul being here. So he did go ahead and make that match because Logan Paul was very antsy about who he's going to be facing at WrestleMania. And well, he's not facing not one, but he's facing two opponents within Kevin Owens and Randy Orton for the United States Championship match. Theory, they didn't put them shirts on sale, not gonna lie, because I actually do like it, the little SmackDown logo with his name on there. So he did hop like Tigger girl. He overly sold that stunner to go into RKO. Crazy. Okay. I'm not gonna look at this photo too long because it's the only one I could find of Jimmy. And Jimmy, he basically let it be known. He basically let it be known that he is accepting the challenge of Jay Uso that he gave to him on Monday Night Raw. And Jimmy is still going back to this, I'm the oldest brother. I'm older than you, blah blah shit like that. So we're finally gonna be getting Jay versus Jimmy Uso at WrestleMania. How many Nikki to sit up? Tim.
Damn, boss. I'm barely making it. Literally, I'm barely making it. I'm trying. Like Jesus Christ. I'm on meds. I'm on water. I'm trying to stay hydrated. I need to keep my legs. Shout out to Battleground Podcast, Team Battle in the building, giving us this opportunity. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right
This
there with you.
weather, Nashville weather.
What's
Like,
your weather like right now? Is it cold
girl,
out
it
there?
was 36 this morning.
Oh my God. You know what? I might need to pack up
Sick,
and move. That's probably the only
sick.
reason. I might need to pack up and move. I don't know. I was inside, so I turned my air on in the morning. You trying to adjust yourself?
Let me sit up.
Jesus, like the professor coming in and everybody put their head down. Everybody's like, all right, class, sit up. Okay. Yes, sir. All right, so we move on to Santos Escobar versus um Dragon Lee, who I think returned last week, but we really don't get to see Dragon Lee that often per se. Like he's kind of been a little MIA for a bit. But him and Santos Escobar had a really great match, but I mean it didn't last that long. Right before, of course, LWO did try their best to get involved to help out the situation, but Legado del Fantasma, because they continue to try to prove their dominance on SmackDown, they took out everybody. Even Carlito tried to come out to assist the situation, but it just wasn't enough
No.
until Rey Mysterio came out, and I popped so hard. Like,
Where's your trading card?
damn, it's on the counter.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to show up for next time because I literally have I have all my stuff like literally just set up on the bar for decoration.
Oh
Like
wow. Okay.
I do. Like I have
You
it
ain't
all
put
set
on,
up.
you ain't put on your Slim Shady?
I haven't put on anything. Like I haven't put on nothing. I just have it sitting up right now. Hi. I just have it sitting up right now. So like I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna bring it in my room once I figure out where exactly I want to put it at and everything.
313 day, Flint, the
You
whole
know, all that, all that. But yeah,
8 Mile.
so
Yo, driving down 8 Mile is nuts.
I w- I want to drive so bad down there so I can play lose yourself.
Girl, you gonna lose yourself, all right? You trying to get the face out.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
videos have been going crazy.
But yeah, so Rey Mysterio, he comes out, and I thought maybe him and Santos would kind of move this to WrestleMania, but I guess they didn't feel like, they wanted to move it to WrestleMania.
Right.
So they decided that they would have their match next week. And finally, which I honestly think this is not going to end in a 1, 2, 3. I feel like this is going to end in a disqualification so that they can maybe they'll if well, since they didn't make it to the tournament, and maybe if Legado del Fantasma does not make it to through the tournament to have that tag match at WrestleMania to join the other guys, then
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna have the entire LWO and the entire Legado del Fantasma in the ring. That includes Electra Lopez and that includes Elena Vega. So which we have not gotten much from them too. Like I want to see a one-on-one match with them. I want to see them be a little bit more involved. So I'm hoping that they just put everybody together on WrestleMania, maybe do a night two. Because I mean, we still got a lot of slots left to fill up this WrestleMania card.
Yeah.
So we might I need to think about that. But I think that this is not going to end in a 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a disqualification.
Yeah.
Speaking of someone that I don't know if Battleground Podcast is still here, but speaking of someone that is on our screen now, shout out to Battleground Podcast. They spoke with AJ Styles. You can check out that interview on their YouTube channel and all over their social media platforms too. They talked to Uncle Allen, is what I like to call him. And LA Knight, him and LA Knight has been trying to catch up with AJ Styles since Elimination Chamber. And well, you got to stop turning your back on these people. I'm telling you that much. LA
Yeah.
and AJ Styles came out there running with that damn chair and knocked the hell out of not AJ, but out of LA Knight. And basically, he accepted his challenge for WrestleMania. And so we'll have TNA royalty stepping into a WWE WrestleMania ring like Slammiversary. And that's all I got. So I don't know, but I feel like I hope they do some type of stipulation with this match too, because there's been a lot of weapons utilized between these both of them. So just utilize it, please. And then we move on to our other part, well, bracket one that had Pretty Deadly versus Pete and Tyler Bate. Really great match. Is I know a lot of people were wanting Pretty Deadly to win, because it seems like for me with Pretty Deadly, they're a great team. they are a great pairing together, but what they had down in NXT and NXT UK and a little bit on SmackDown when they came here, it's just not really sticking anymore because I do just feel like they're kind of falling within the mix of the shuffle. Like the only time they truly have a tag match is if it's with Tyler and P, and it's like they don't have them facing anyone else. And it seems to me like we don't really have that many face team heels. Well, face teams here we have a lot of heel teams. So I don't know how people feel about those heel versus heel matches because you gotta outboo the heelless person that's out there. So but my boys end up winning, and so they will go on to face Legado de Fantasma to see how they can or get into this match or whatever, which was still kind of confusing with this because I just assumed that Legado de Fantasma beat LWO, they automatically get in, and then boom, Pete and Tyler defeated Pretty Deadly and automatically they get in. The same thing for Raw versus SmackDown, Raw, same thing for Raw teams, but it's not like that at all whatsoever. So I was like, okay, then I'm still trying to understand what this bracket is, but maybe Monday Night Raw would tell me a little bit more because I think with Monday Night Raw, if they win, then they automatically get in. So I don't know. It's still a little confusing. Hey Stephanie, hey Eric, thank you for coming in as always. And then we get to our main event. Um, Bailey versus Dakota. It's the first in ring match for Dakota Kai. Technically, singles wise, since she had her injury and everything. And Bailey was definitely showing a little bit of a different side for her. It was nice to see Dakota be able to take these bumps even after having her injury. You know, she's being safe out there too because I mean same thing with like Shotzi. You can drop down and then boom, now your leg messed up for 6 to 8 months. Like so. I do appreciate the fact that they were extremely careful inside of this match, but the Kabuki Warriors were trying their best to get involved as many ways as possible. And this match did not turn out the way that it should have been. I'm telling you right now, it did not at all whatsoever. I mean, Bailey gets the victory because of disqualification, but it still doesn't change the fact of that every time we see Bailey and Io, they're not technically putting their hands on each other. They're just kind of like, face to face. Io always threatening to hit somebody with that damn dirty ass championship and never does it at all whatsoever. Yeah, Asuka did get, I think Asuka sustained like a foot injury or something. I'm unsure how that may have happened. I think that's when she got involved in the matches when she hurt herself trying to hurt Bailey. I'm not gonna say that's what you get, but from that what you get, girl. Because you should have just stood there on the side and just looked. That's all you should have did, but you did not. So they ended up attacking Bailey after the match, and then Naomi comes out to try to, help Bailey in any way possible. But when you're outnumbered, you know, things happen. She got him in the first half, but that latter part, it just wasn't enough at all whatsoever. And damage control, this newfound damage control, continues to stand tall. Now, I know a lot of speculations. Well, where was Bianca Belair? I don't know where Bianca was. Bianca says she's not going to be too easy to or too eager to want to be on the side of Bailey because of what they did to her. This is not just Bailey. This is everybody that was a part of damage control, but mostly Bailey because Bailey has been a thorn in Bianca's ass way before she even came with the damage control. They were already having their feud. They left off on a feud when Bailey was the one who got injured before her and Bianca had that match. So I don't know. So I mean, it seems as if like I know people thinking that because Bianca and Naomi are working, live shows together, and they all ha ha he. What happens on live shows don't mean it's gonna happen on live TV. Because
Right.
I have a feeling like because Bianca, is people feel like Naomi's gonna be able to bring a change of heart to Bianca, and Bianca's going to side with Naomi, and then they're going to go after the tag team championships. I'm telling you right now, I feel like Bianca is not going to be the Bianca that y'all think is going to be on the side.
Mm.
at all whatsoever. It's about that.
Mm,
It's about that heel turn time. I'm just saying.
mm,
She's not doing anything right now. You
right.
know, I mean, she's gonna have to find a way. She finds a way to, I don't know, WrestleMania wise, and you know, I would love to her to hit that, that continue her winning streak. But depending on what may happen, if she chooses to play, pretend to play fair on the side of Naomi, and then boom, she turns on Naomi. I don't know, but anything can happen at this point. I don't really know because I'm not seeing Bianca right now, so I don't really know what the game plan is. So I don't know. It's hard to say right now. Last year we knew Bianca was champion. We knew she was going into WrestleMania, and all of a sudden now she's not champion. She didn't she didn't win Elimination Chamber to even have a match at WrestleMania. So now I'm not gonna say she's straddling the fence, but she doesn't have long to figure out, or they don't have long to figure out what they're gonna do for Bianca to put her on this card.
Right.
So I don't know.
Right. I
So.
don't either.
mm.
Whew.
But yeah, so that was pretty much how Friday Night SmackDown ended. So let's get into some of these matches that we do have or that were announced for WrestleMania. Don't know which night they're going to be on. You'll figure it out once they give us the match card too. So we got Jay Uso versus Jimmy Uso. I'm glad they got their graphics right because last time they put two Jimmys up here, which is really messed up. WWE team, because I mean now you should be able to tell from the two. I'm just saying. So we also got LA Knight versus AJ Styles. And then we have the triple threat match with Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, and Randy Orton for the United States Championship. Next this week, coming up for Friday Night SmackDown, of course, we have Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar. I'm going with yes on both because I have all the dogs in this fight. We have our continue on with the SmackDown Tag Team, I guess, bracket tournament that we're having. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller versus the OC. OC has been doing their stuff down there on NXT lately, so nice to see them back on SmackDown, being a part of this tournament. And also, the Street Profits will take on AOP. And we're also within this tournament as well. And we will have a face to face with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes this coming Friday as well. So it's a lot of things heating up and in store for not only just WrestleMania, but also Friday Night SmackDown too. So I mean, there's that. So any final thoughts on SmackDown, Nikki, that you may have?
No, honestly. Good shows. Both
Yeah.
great shows, honestly. Um, I'm just ready for Monday Night Raw. Becky
Yeah,
and Nia.
yeah, it never ceases to amaze me with Becky and Naya. I'm sure that Liv is going to find her way to get involved because of what Naya did to them last week. So I'm
Yeah.
very sure. And honestly, truly, the way that they're going, they could make this a fatal four-way match just for the hell of it, just to put everybody in the match. So now it's not just about Becky and Rhea. It's about Becky, Liv, Rhea, Naya, not Naomi, but Naya. Everybody, just throw everybody in the damn match. So, but
Yeah.
yeah. So we thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with us here in the Shakkas Den for Raw versus SmackDown. We will be back on tomorrow for NXT Uncut. We got a lot to talk about and follow up with what happened last week and everything. And then, of course, we'll be back on Thursday for TNA Wrestling, and then on Sunday for Reality TV Fix. If you missed the one from last night, you can definitely go back and watch it on Twitch because
Hmm.
that's the only place you're gonna find it at. The
Yep.
only place. Shout out to Battleground Podcast as always, and shout out to each and every one of you for coming in and being our support system. We definitely do appreciate it. Continue to follow us on all social media platforms. And once again, this has been Raw versus SmackDown in the Den, of course, where it's invite only.
Woo!